Guys, today we have the unboxing of the brand new Note 10 Plus, so just stay tuned as we check out this great device. Hey guys, it's Ricardo and welcome to another blog tech tips. And of course guys, as you can see here, we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and of course this is the Aurora Glow version. What you see at the back here, you're getting these beautiful colors that gives you that rainbow effect, thus the Aurora name. You can check out the base here, and as you can see here guys, we have the S Pen, we have the speaker grill at the base, and of course we have the USB type C port and the mic port. And of course guys, this is just the typical layout. On the back here we have the cameras, which is the three sensors. Of course, next to them you have the depth of field sensor, the flash, and so on. And of course the cameras are the close-up zoom lens, and of course the wide angle lens, and so on. On one side you have nothing, and of course this is the new style of the Note 10. At the top here you have your speaker cutouts for sound, and of course if we go around, you can see on this side all the buttons have been moved to one side. You have volume up and down along with power, which is a nice new addition. And of course guys, you can see the display here, and at the top here you can see the single front facing camera, front and center. And of course guys, all of this on this very nice large screen, and this screen is 6.8 inches, which is a dynamic AMOLED screen. And you can see right here that the resolution of the display is very high, and of course this is one of the main things you would actually go for a Note 4, which is the larger display. And of course I'm just going to unlock this right now and to show you what everything looks like once we remove the S Pen. And of course guys, here you have the S Pen, and from the lock screen, the typical use, you can actually write from the lock screen as indicated here by the notation. And of course you can check out the S Pen itself. This is the S Pen. You have the tip, which is the felted tip to actually protect your screen from scratches. You have the indentation, of course the button, and of course at the top here the clickable section at the top. And of course all of this works together. If you have been used to Samsung Note devices in the past, you'll feel right at home, as all the features from the past which has made the Note line notable has reoccurred here on the Note 10 or the Note 10 Plus, which share similarities. Alright, so of course the Note 10 is the highest version of the Note recently released, and as you can see here guys, we're going to run you through the interface to show you what has changed so far. You can see the typical layout of the notification here, which is very typical. We have the quick toggles here at the top. You'll notice the QR scanner and so on, which is of course the latest addition, and you can see the toggles are basically all here, including the S Pen ear action, which is of the Note line, or the ones that show up in the Note line. Of course those are not on the regular devices. You can also notice others, and of course I have several apps already on this device, just running you through some stuff that I have. And of course you can see the general flow of the device. Alright guys, so far so good. And of course you go into settings here, everything is typical as on the other devices from Samsung. If you know your way around those, you should find yourself right at home, as everything can be easily located. Everything is in its typical case, especially if you are familiar with the Samsung Galaxy S10, S10e, and so on. You can see the One UI version 1.5, which is higher than most other versions, meaning this is running a higher version. You can see the kernel version, and we're on the August 1st update 2019. And of course guys, you can check out the camera here. It's typical layout as in the camera, and of course overall improvements in the camera. There's just a slight bump up in functionality of the camera, nothing that you'll notice readily, but of course it looks slightly better compared to the S10. And you can see the various angles, the wide angle lens, and of course the zoom lens, are the close-up for close-up shots, as you see right here with the 2x zoom. And of course we go into settings, and of course the software is typical as to every other Samsung device that you most likely have used if you're on one of those newer devices. And as you can see here guys, the settings are just the same, and of course the resolution option directly in here, except for video, is missing, as with the other devices such as the Samsung Galaxy S10. But of course, that's no big deal. And guys, what I've noticed so far, the major difference between this device and the S10 is the inclusion of the S Pen and of course the 6.8-inch larger screen. So you do get those. And of course the differences are not that major. But of course for some people the larger screen and the inclusion of the S10 and the inclusion of the S Pen is what they'll actually get the Note for. And of course there are other differences. I could tell you some more. For example, uh, the inclusion of the front camera. As you see, it's now 10 megapixel dual pixel camera, and of course that gives better selfies. Of course that is comparable to the S10. And of course the slimmer bezels, you might have noticed, especially at the top with this white background, that you can actually see the bezels, that they are very thin. And of course that's a great improvement, very close to the S10, but of course that's something to like. And of course there's the larger battery. The larger battery is a 4300 milliamp hour battery, and of course you can see here we're going to check out the storage, and this one has in a SD card, and the SD card itself adds to the internal memory. So as you can see, we have 120 gigabyte SD card, and of course you can see here in total we have 192.5 gigabytes total of the 65 gigabytes or so that's included as internal storage. So as you can see guys, you have more than enough storage capacity. Everything is in its place, as you should be able to find your way around easily. Security features are the same straight across the board. So as I was saying, guys, the major thing is the S Pen along with the larger display. But of course, there's only a slight bump up in resolution in terms of the camera, which is hardly ever noticeable. And of course, there's the very large 4300 milliamp batteries, which should mean for power users, you can actually use your device for longer. And you can check out here, guys, the thin bezel, how thin it is, along with the neat cutout and the centered front-facing camera that's in the display. And of course, here's a ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that's in this one as well. We'll look at that later on. And of course, you can see how gorgeous this display is, guys. Very thin. And of course, this is the best Note device to date. So of course, if you're waiting or holding out for a Note, this is the Note to get. And of course, you can choose between the high model here, which is the Plus edition of the Note 10, or of course, you can go with the regular Note 10. And guys, I must say that this device is really nice. But of course, if you're coming from a Samsung Galaxy S10, this will not be a major upgrade. So I do not advise, if you're already on a S10, to actually do this upgrade, as there will be little, if anything, in terms of improvement. And of course, guys, I'm going to show you close up now the S Pen in action. And of course, once you remove it, you do get this menu here, and you can actually do your thing. You can see the various options. You can crop your screen. You can send messages. You can write on the display and all that. For example, here, some people do not like writing with the S Pen. It does get or take a little time to get used to. But of course, once you do, you can do several things, including create nice artworks, or you can actually write. You can transcribe your writing into text, which is a very nice feature. And of course, I'm just testing this out here for the first time. So let's see if I can actually write. So thumbs up, guys, if I have great penmanship on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. And up here, this is the website, blogtechtips.com. So you can always check this out. The link is also in the channel page. Of course, we do post there regularly. So that's blogtechtips.com. Do skip out the and as you can see here, guys, the S Pen works quite fine. Its felt tip actually glides across the screen and everything works just perfect. And of course, guys, as you can see here, the device menu and power. Of course, you can see that it operates very fluidly. And some of the new options in menu, you'll see this power option right there. If you tap it on screen, it does bring up the power menu, a great addition in cases where you do not want to actually press the physical button. And as mentioned, or as I should mention, there is no Bigsby key. So the exclusion of Bigsby is a great addition, as some people do not like Bigsby. But of course, the S Pen does give you a great trade up. So there's no Bixby option. The buttons have been moved, power right below the volume, and all the buttons are to one side. And of course guys, this is for ease of use in terms of handling, as if you would do to the 6.8-inch screen, it's very hard to navigate and keep control of this screen. And one of the coolest thing about using these devices is if you can operate them with just one hand. And let's run back through the cool new additions, guys. Remember that you are getting the S Pen, the large screen, 6.8 inches. This dynamic OLED, and it's an infinity display with a resolution of 3040 by 1440. All right, and of course the cameras are all here: the 12 megapixel, the 12 megapixel, and the 16 megapixel ultra wide. And as you can see here, guys, the fingerprint scanner in some cases works a little bit slow depending on who you are, or your experience might vary. But of course, overall, I think Samsung will fix this with future software updates. So guys, this is it for the brand new Note 10 Plus. And this review also applies to the Note 10. And guys, if you, as I said, if you already have a S10, do not get this, as it offers only minor improvements unless you definitely want the Note. And as for other users who have been holding out for very long, you will not get a better device right now than the Note 10 Plus. It offers great power. You do get the S Pen, larger display, and of course a slight bump up in the camera performance. You get very slim bezels, so you're getting an almost complete display with very little bezels. And of course there is the very large 4300 milliamp battery, which is going to guarantee you a full day plus of usage. All right guys, Ricardo Gardner from Blog Tech Tips with another great review of the Note 10 Plus recently released device. This is Ricardo Gardner saying bye until next time. Bye.